Hello and welcome back to another day in the arena. This is the second part of the Mythic Championship Top 8 deck gameplay. I recorded all the games at once, but it turned out that they were just a little bit too long for your typical video, so I've split it into two parts for you. And today is part 2. If you want to see the entire top 8 and watch things in proper order, please go check out part 1. It should have been posted just one day before this video. I'm sure you will enjoy it. You've probably already figured out I recorded this intro after the fact, but there's some pretty wacky stuff, including my attempt at a Nexus list Nexus deck. So enjoy the games, and I will see you later. Our hand has a nice mix of Electromancer spells to cast, so we'll try it. We also have a way to kill something. There's something to kill. And there's a basic mountain, so I don't have to shock for it. But I will let my opponent go. This is kind of interesting, but I think that I want to make sure our opponent doesn't have a runaway Steamkin. At the same time, letting them light the stage here is so bad. I don't know. I guess this has to die sometime. It may as well be now. Turn off that spectacle, but if there's a runaway Steamkin, I got. Alright, there's another lava runner. Let's put out an Electromancer and hope for the best. I think that Electromancer struggles in best of 1 because of all the red decks, but this red deck is stuck on one land, and I do think that they kept a light up the stage kind of experience hand. So I like playing Electromancer, but do we play the voice or the chart? And I think it's the chart. If we get to a bird, we want to play it. So we'll play you, then the basic island, and then chart the course. And by play it, I mean dump it in the graveyard, of course. Right? Right. I was also thinking maybe I need to cast it next turn, but I think getting it back for free and seeing a lot more cards is more likely. And I mean, I feel like we'll find another 1-drop if our Electromancer were to die. So the opponent goes with a Fanatical Firebrand and a Fanatical Firebrand. Are they going to kill the Electromancer with 2 Firebrands? Well, that's about the best job the Electromancer has done for me in eating card advantage in a while. So, maybe I start with an opt. This sees a few more options. Lava Coil. I could take out that little critter over there. It's hard to turn that card down, so I'll take it. I'm also going to Tormenting Voice. Let's play you, and then let's Tormenting Voice away one of the steam vents, and if we hit a 1-drop spell, we get our bird back. We failed. We failed. Bad feels. But we get another shot next turn. The opponent finally gets to play that beautiful light up the stage, but they can only pick one of these cards for next turn, which that's an ideal lighting of a stage. The Mana Flood continues. 8 lands now? Alright. Let's start with a little bit of course charting. There's a Crackles. Let's discard a shock land. We have no interest in that. So we're still not going to get a bird back. It's not going to happen. Should I Lava Coil one of these? Well, it can happen if we find a 1-drop and play Chart a Course instead of the Lava Coil. That's pretty risky. But I really want to Lava Coil one of these two. They're much better cards. So say I miss on the 1-drop. What do we have? We have a Shock or an Opt. 6 of those in the deck, 2 looks. It's not that great. But if I miss, I go to 10. They play one of these. Next turn, I can play Lava Coil, Crackling Drake. All right. I'll take that risk. Not a 1-drop, but we can put another Arclight into the graveyard. All right. What card do you decide to play from your hand? Neither. Exile both of them. I want my Frenzy. Fair enough. Crackling Drake and Lava Coil, or 2 birds. I think getting the Drake online is priority. So here we go. Now we have a shock. So next turn we can definitely idea, shock. That gets the birds back. So let's use a lava coil this turn to fill that graveyard. And let's hope that this frenzy isn't too crazy. Land. Land into land. That's all we need. And done. Okay. Here we go now. So how best to play this? This is 1, 2, 3, 4 in the graveyard. 11, 12, 13 with the Drake and the shock. 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. We are very close to lethal. We just need to find a few more spells to get them into the graveyard or exile. Land will not do it. Land will not do it, I said. So if we play the Electromancer, we can still play another 2-drop if we find it. Plus it can block, so that may matter. So let's go for Electromancer. Let's draw with Radical Idea. Just need a spell. That will do. I could discard it and get another card deeper, or I could cast it and take out the Pyro. Let's get another card deeper. I think it's okay. Okay, there's Opt. Going to Opt. Tormenting Voice doesn't matter from here. I guess it would get another 2 cards in the graveyard, so maybe I'm wrong, but I think Shock is by far the most damage I can do. So here's Shock. That's 14, 15, 16, this is 20, right? Yes. Yes, it is. Birds. Let's hope the opponent didn't save some kind of a lightning strike on top of their deck. I'm absolutely sure they would have played it, but you never know. And we got there. Dragon Shield sleeves are only $7.99 on FlipsideGaming.com right now. And if you use the promo code CGB at checkout, you will save 10% and support the channel at the same time. So remember to use the promo code CGB. Our opening hand has 2 Wilderness Reclamations, an Insight, and a Snare. We're on the play. We just have to draw land. Easy. We'll draw 2 land. Easy. Or we'll draw cards like Opt and Growth Spiral, and they will draw us land. We wouldn't possibly get mana screwed. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. So honestly, kids at home, you may want to mulligan that hand. I think I'm playing up a certain kind of character doing this Nexus deck. But if you find yourself in the spot I was just in, it's one of those that should probably be mulliganed if there's any stakes in the game whatsoever. But we'll see if we can get away with it here. We just drew 1 land. We need 1 more. 1 more land. Opponent looking like green-black, which was a great matchup for the Nexus of Fate deck. I don't know what it will be here. I mean, if they have creature removal, can't they just kill everything that does something on our end? So I'm going to discard one of these Chemist's Insights. They have this marvelous Jumpstart ability to the Burglar Rat, which you don't see every day. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, we did it. We did it, YouTube. We drew the lands. We drew the lands. Now the party begins. So, our poor opponent, Dark Knighty, but at least they'll get to take turns. We're going to have really amazing turns that do lots of things, but our opponent does get to take turns. I'm actually not sure if we can actually win. Because like I said, if the opponent just kills our things, I don't know what we do. Maybe the Nezahal enough? Diamond Mare. Alright. That is somebody who's tired of red decks and playing green-black cards I own. Chemist's Insight. Ooh, is this an Assassin's Trophy? Look at this. Look at this. Okay, okay. So you've got claws to take a Vivian line. The opponent says, oops. I don't think that's an oops. I think you've got to do it. So, the thing with Biogenic Ooze is you don't just want to run it out there. If it dies, it dies. You want to run it out there when you can make a ton of mana with Wilderness Reclamation and just run up the frickin' score. So here's the Reclamation. We'll move to end step where we'll add a blue to our mana pool because this part's so fun. And then we will Precognitive Perception and draw 3. Alright. And we'll say go. And now we have a Root Snare available, which I might just play just to fill the graveyard so Azcanta flips easily. Here's your snare. Here's Crawl. Another Harpoon has been thrown. Another Diamond Mare has been cast. So, is it time? I think we play the Azcanta and Fog for another turn. I don't think you Ooze yet. When Ooze is the win con, your mana is really important. Although we could play it here and have, well, 1 bonus Ooze. 1. I think we can do better. I think we can do better, team. So, to the end step. Trigger on... Oops. I didn't put a stop on my end step. You guys come here for the legendary competent play, right? Okay, so Root Snare. Let's go ahead and not allow this damage. See if the opponent has a play for a Sabotage or if we're flashing back the Insight. My turn. Let's bring back the Insight. Let's discard the land because I'm confident we'll find more, and we do. There's a Crassus. But we don't have another Fog yet. But Crassus can get us out of any kind of lethal range. May as well draw this. Transform you. 1, 2, 3. So we can play this tapped. And we can Crassus for a 6. And I don't think the opponent has a lethal attack. Plus they have to get through our Crassus. This comes in tap no matter what, so I'll play it now, and then we'll untap all this land. So we have counter magic available, even if they have a removal. There's a Chupa. Let's go ahead and say no to Chupa. Another Azcanta is not what we need. And the opponent's going to scoop it up. So from here it looks like I'm not going to make endless oozes. I think I can do better than that game. Mana necklaces have arrived at hauntedflower.com. These necklaces are a great way to show your favorite MTG colors. Remember to use the promo code CGB at checkout to save 10%. That is promo code CGB on hauntedflower.com. Alright, we get to opt into Growth Spiral. And then I don't know what we do until we Nezahal, but it's there. It's frickin' there. Terramander, okay. I still think I pay the 2 life and start opting right away. I don't think I want to fight a counter war with the blue deck. I don't think that's how we get there. I think we gotta... I guess Nezi does have to come down, and somehow we have to not die to the Tempest Shins and nonsense. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, it's another Terramander. Our opponent may have a Spell Pierce, so I'm going to set up an upkeep Growth Spiral. So that's why we put the stop here, and then I'm going to pass the turn. And unless they go for opt, I don't really want my Growth Spiral Spell Pierce. And we got to resolve it. Look at all this pretty mana. The beatings. So there's a Crassus. It's actually pretty good. An Essence Capture can counter it, of course, but we still get to draw a card. And if it does resolve, we have a 2/2 to fight the 1/1s in the sky. So I'm going to try it. It's a baby Crassus. Let's go, baby Crassus. It really has to be... Oh, Quench. Okay, that's better than an Essence Capture then. Well, for me. Because it doesn't boost up the Terramander. Essence Capture has a downside on Terramander. It does prevent the Terramander from growing later. But that's usually not an issue early in the game. So I like playing the untapped land, so I have Opt and Chemister's Insight. Actually, I like leading with Opt. Maybe we'll find something like a Growth Spiral. That's an even better play for the turn. That's another way to have a ton of cards. I think the opponent would counter it, but maybe that's not the worst thing. So I will draw it. And then we'll play an untapped land and prepare this Chemister's Insight, again for upkeep. If the opponent's going to counter this, I want them to have to do it before they draw or before they can make a land drop. Okay, they go for an Opt. If they have a Spell Pierce, they may counter this. What did that take off the board? It took Negate off the board. I still think I'd like to use it for their next turn sequence because I plan to go Insight into Perception, so we'll let Opt resolve. Like, when you go for spells against the blue deck is actually a big part of competing with the blue deck. A really big part of it. Okay, 2 lands is far from ideal. The flood's so real. Still no Curious Obsession, which is about the only thing I have a lot of hope because of. And the opponent's playing cautiously against me. I bet they have a Tempest Djinn or some stronger cards that they don't feel like they can play because I would Wilderness Reclamation them. So now I can play around Spell Pierce with an untapped land. I don't see any reason to play these Breeding Pools tapped. They're probably never even going to get played. And I'm going to go for Chemister's Insight instead of the Precognitive Perception. Again, we'll do upkeep. I like making the opponent commit. Play this now because it gets around Spell Pierce. Alright, found a Blink of an Eye. That could be really helpful if the opponent does go for something like a Dive Down. Or an Adapt. There's still a long ways from adapting though. Alright, let's do that. The opponent will say go. Ooze. Well, I think that considering how much counter magic my opponent keeps representing, it's time for the Primal Tide. And can I get a counter spell on Nezzy? See? Nezahal better than Nexus of Fate. Confirmed. We did it. Well, that was an experience. Obviously, there are other 7-drops we could have been playing besides Nexus of Fate the whole time, right? Next up, they will be calling for a ban of Nezahal the Primal Tide. You mark my words. Thank you for watching these videos. I really enjoy breaking down the top 8 and going through the decks from major events and talking about the changes that one could make for best of one. If you want to see more these decks broken down in more detail, please check out my channel has individual deck text for each of these decks or very similar decks within the past few weeks. So if you want more Nexus of Fate for some reason, just look for the video with the most dislikes. If you want some more red aggro, I've made a lot of videos about red aggro, 5 episodes of a free-to-play red aggro this season. So go check that out. As always, thank you for watching this video, and I will see you in the next video. Please remember to like and subscribe. Goodbye.